stay flossing on that candy paint, blowing bang, sipping drink on 84 swing, turn off the lane.
Staring at the lane.
I'm crying.
Dang. Singing is not for me. Hey, what's up, everyone? It's your girl, Nicole.
And it's Jordan.
And you are tuned into the Playbook Diaries podcast, where there is a story behind every what?
Play.
Jordan, how are you doing, my girl?
I'm doing great. It's a lovely 70-something degrees in Dallas. Great workout weather. So I got my hoodies on. I got my hot chocolate. I'm having a good time. How are you?
I can't complain. It is amazing weather. We're in September. September is the best month of the year. Stay fair in Texas. Football is back.
Don't somebody got a birthday in September?
And then it is an iconic day, September 26th. You know, this is the month. I am September's very own. So this is great. Earth, Wind, and Fire reminded us, do you remember September 21st night? So
okay.
am I doing too much?
Yeah, because I'm like that reference I didn't catch.
You listened to Earth, Wind, and Fire.
It went over my head. The reference went over my head.
Jeez. Well, a lot of our references can, tend to go over a couple people's heads. It happens. You were saying that you're running. So how has that been?
I started running about 2.5 years ago to try to get in shape.
That's
we're a little bit older, so I can't just keep my body by waking up like I did when I was a teenager. And so I got a little fluffy. I got a little big in the face, big in the stomach. So I started running, and I think that's cut out alcohol and start running is the quickest way to lose them pounds. 2.5 years later, I still absolutely hate running with a passion. I'm still not a workout girl. I don't love it. But I am at the point where I feel weird if I don't work out.
How long did that take?
Probably about 6 months. About 6 months of consistently going to the gym or doing some physical activity was when it was like, all right, if I didn't work out enough that week, I'm like, ooh, let me get up and work out. I'm itching to work out. So
yeah, I definitely think so. My threshold, my goal for every week is I try to aim for 3 days a week. If I get 4 days a week, we had a phenomenal week, but I try for 3 days a week.
My soft spot is like 3. I can accept 2, but 4 is like no one pissed me off at work.
We're
no
good.
one got on my nerves. Like I'm chilling, cool.
It gives soft girl when I can like work out 4 days a week. Oh, okay.
But working out as a black girl, not it.
It depends. Why do you say that? Why do you say that?
My edges look crazy. If you pay attention from running outside and sweating, I'm like, you literally have to flat iron your hair every day or just wear braids. And I'm just like, ew. Like I don't.
Do you wear a bandana when you work out?
I normally wear a band to lay down my edges, but because I'm running anywhere from like 3 to 6 miles, I'm gonna sweat regardless on my perimeter. So
I feel you.
It's still.
I feel you. So, what do you think about the previous episode that we had with Cody Ford?
I thought it was great. I mean, while we were filming, we had a great time. I think it was fun. It was definitely a new experience. That's normally not our lane. We do sports. And while there was a slight crossover, that audience is not our normal audience. And the topic, like celebrity gossip, is not really our thing. But since we saw that slight crossover, we were like, okay, like, let's try to get this person on. I think Cody was a great guest. I mean, he was open and willing to talk, and not all guests are as forthcoming with information. So I think that it went well, and I thought that it was done in a respectful manner. How do you feel about it?
I disagree with you in the area where you said that might not be our lane. You kind of said it's our lane. It's kind of not. I think it's 100% our lane. If you look at our track record, we are the Playbook Diaries podcast, and we interview athletes and athletic figures. We talk about sports. He is an athlete. He is an NFL athlete. he made the 53-man roster
Yeah.
on the Bengals. Whatever his skill level on that level is a different story, but it is the highest level of American football.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah,
100%.
we were interviewing an athlete, and it just so happens that there is something juicy that's going on in his life. And with that even being said, I would like to welcome some of our new followers and viewers, just simply because if you look at our track record, we have stayed very consistent. So
Yeah.
I think the episode was interesting. I had a great time.
Yeah.
I
But
think it was
our great time was misconstrued as us making fun of somebody.
yes. So
Word.
we can actually start off with that, because that's a really great segue. I think
Yeah.
our great time. Do I look like Diana Sawyer?
Do you look like Diane Sawyer?
Do I look like I'm sorry, yeah. Do I look like Gil King?
No, yeah. That's a great point. We are not Oprah, we're not Gayle King. It wasn't a serious setting. I think that people mistook people don't understand the difference between a interview and a podcast interview. Two totally different things. A podcast is supposed to be chill, laid back, everybody's relaxing. Notice when podcasters are doing their shows, they're not dressed up in suits or in, professionally. They're in hoodies, they're chilling. So podcast is a more welcoming, it's supposed to be conversational. It's not like uptight and hello, Mr. President. And I think that people expected us to be just like kind of uptight and not a fun thing. And we saw it as like a fun thing, interviewing our friend. So I think that was one misconception. We weren't laughing at the situation or what had
No.
happened at all. We laughed because we play too damn much.
And
Like,
it was crazy. We were getting accused of bullying. Look here. I love my life. My life is fun. I have a solid career. I have a good community. I am happy. I don't have a reason to bash anybody. I am very happy. I'm grateful to God. Whoa.
yeah,
So this is not
yeah,
an outlet because I'm angry at the world.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
this is
We're not mean girls. We don't pick on people. But I think this next part is gonna be hard for people to grasp if you're not a part of it. But Nicole and I are both African American. We're Black girls. I think that at some point there was cultural context missing because how we acted and interacted with our guests on that show was back and forth banter between two African Americans, and which I thought was so normal. But it wasn't until we started getting comments on they're making fun of her, they're laughing, and I'm like, oh, this is
whoa.
just like normal Black people going back and forth, back and forth.
We were just talking, and I will accept a couple of constructive criticisms, because I definitely think that we didn't knock it out the park. I think we did. I think it was a great interview, but we didn't knock it out the park. I agree
Yeah,
with you with the misconception. There was we bypassed each other on that. We bypassed a couple of our viewers, and one of the beautiful things about a podcast is finding your tribe,
yeah,
right? And so that is a part of it, and that's okay. Um, but even I noticed one of the things that we do often. If you notice how since I've been talking, you said yeah, mm-hmm.
just active listening, which is
Just active listening.
I'm
Active
letting
listening.
you. I'm just making a noise, giving you feedback to let you know I'm actively engaged. That was
I'm here
something that
for
was
you, baby.
mistaken.
I'm here for you, baby. And so, I do that often. And I definitely think that came off as validating cheating and and ill behavior. The thing about it is he admitted to what he did.
Yeah,
We're the same age. That man knows what he did. And you don't invite I don't know podcast interviewers or not podcast interviewers. I don't know hosts of podcasts who bring people on the show to bash them. I think that when you start critiquing in various areas, like for example, the Cam Newton podcast, and he's with Dr. Bryant, she's picking into questions because she's degreed up to do that. She's a doctor.
yeah,
And so I think also we addressed various comments and questions that people actually had. So I had a great time.
Yeah, I think it was cool. I think we got some good feedback. We got some negative feedback, but it's still feedback, and we wanted to take it. A lot of y'all were
Mhm.
like, "Y'all got to learn to stop talking over the interviewer," and we're over the interviewee. We are so bad about that, but we are going to work on it. And I think that's an easy fix. It's easy fix. We just get excited and be wanting to, we just get overly excited, and that's okay. I think that it was a great interview for it to be one of our first. I think that if you look at the past interviews we've done, we're getting more comfortable with one another in this space, and then hopefully we can see ourselves getting better and better each time we interview someone. We are just now starting out, so it's not
I don't
expected
even
to be perfect.
I almost let you finish talking without interrupting you. I almost did it. I almost did it. I Jesus, I was trying.
Not
And I'm not being sarcastic, guys, we're playing. But um, I think I we've had a whole season. We're getting started. Another one of the critiques or comments, not even critique, but comment was we had 2,000 followers. I mean, we organically build, just like anything's organically built, we organically build a following, supporters, people who enjoy our banter, conversations, our perspectives, people who even challenge it as well, because we are open to challenging conversations. So definitely feel free to challenge things that we say, whether you disagree with me on who should be the MVP or rookie of the year or how we conducted certain things. That's what podcasts are for. They are expression.
Yeah.
So
So
I had a
anyway,
good time. I am really trying my best to stop saying it's fair. Um,
you're so mad about that.
no, I'm not mad about it. It's only just funny because I definitely said it a lot. And it's so funny because it's something that I didn't even think about. I'm like, oh,
That's fair.
yeah.
That's fair.
I'm like, that's fair.
That's fair.
How's that fair? And I'm like, oh my God, I am not. But the people who give me, and that's why we are here. And let's move on unless you have anything else to say.
No, I think that's enough clearing up. I mean, at the end of the day, it's social media is social media. We knew what we were taking on. We knew what types of comments we would get by who we interviewed. We're both smart girls. We foresaw that. Um, and so we got what we expected, but we still have a goal for our show and for ourselves. And so we just had to stick true to that. But perception, we talked about it last season, perception is not always reality. There are so many pieces of context that can change how you perceive something, and just because it's how you perceive it does not mean how it was how it was intended, or that your perception is correct. So um yeah, it's okay. We're not going to ever please everybody, um and that's okay,
Yeah.
but we still got to move on with our regular programming. So back
Yeah.
to our regular playbook diaries. We got to move on.
Yeah. I will
What
say
about-
we probably could have maybe asked a couple more questions on the cheating situation. He did
yeah.
already admit to it, but I think that was actually something that I agree with. Like, hey, like, but probe more on that area. That's
I
fine.
I agreed on that too, but I think that for me it was kind of a struggle to keep it respectful without probing too much and making our guests shut down and be and like feeling judged.
Because he
And
admitted to it.
yeah, he admitted to it, but it's still a little tricky when you're interviewing someone that you don't know well, because Cody and I know each other, but we knew each other in college. We have not spoken in years outside of like laughing on each other's social media and stuff like that. So it's like, oh, I don't really know the temperament of this person anymore. So when you don't really know your guests and what might set them off, what's a trigger, it's like, I want to skate around this. And like you mentioned, like, we're not therapists, and we ourselves were lacking a lot of context because it is a relationship that he was speaking on. And it was a relationship that you and I were both not involved in.
Right.
So
And so we're just
yeah,
super
we
crazy.
couldn't challenge his narrative. We could not be like, no, that's not right. And I think that people were expecting us to like hold him accountable, but he's still a grown man. And one of the first things he did was admit that it was his issue to fix. And I didn't really think that we need to pounce on that, or else I don't
Because he
think
said it.
yeah, I don't think we would have got more answers towards the end if we would have like pounced on them, be like, you should go, like, we're not responsible for holding
Yeah,
him accountable. He's an adult. So
for sure. For sure. Okay, so other than that, there have been some really dope games this past weekend. We predicted that UT was going to be Michigan. UT, University of Texas, beat Michigan 31
yay.
to 12.
Yes.
Um, that was great at Michigan. So I know they were probably really salty. Northern Illinois with the upset versus Notre Dame.
That's actually crazy. That
Did
is
you
crazy.
did you see the interview with their coach?
Yeah, after the game I did watch it.
Yeah, it was beautiful. Coach Hammett, shout out to you. Congratulations, Northern Illinois Huskies.
And they're officially ranked. They are officially on the
Oh, could that
ranking list
win?
now. They are ranked. I'm gonna bring up a question. I'm gonna probe a question later.
Okay, cool. And then University of Tennessee versus NC State. NC State, Tennessee smacked them.
Okay. You got any other games? Because I'm gonna go with some other games if you done.
I'm sad that SMU fell short to BYU, but uh I guess go staying still.
Okay, so you went over Texas, Michigan. We had South Florida play number 4, Alabama. Alabama seemingly, if you look at the score, Alabama whooped up on South Florida in a 42-16 defeat. But up until the fourth quarter, that game was tight. It was Alabama was struggling. I know Nick Saban was up in his suite, pissed, livid. And it's like, this is what happens when y'all bring NIL, because that's why Nick Saban left. He's like, we're not finna all be paying players to come. Like, I'm not doing that. So, Alabama ended up winning, but it seemed like a tough feat up until the fourth quarter. And then from there, they kind of just took off. Boise State versus number 7, Oregon.
Oh yeah.
Oregon pulled out and won with a field goal, winning 37-34 over Boise State at home. That game should not have been that close. And that one of the last touchdowns of the game, when the Oregon player runs it 100 yards all the way back into the end zone, but he drops the ball.
Oh, I saw that.
He drops the ball
You know
just shy of the end zone. I don't know how many times y'all have to see this scenario play out. Y'all cannot be so cocky and be so focused on y'all celebration dances that you forget the fundamentals of the game. And I know they're probably like, girl, you ain't never played football. You don't shut your ass up. But
Like,
I
girl, be
will after I
quiet.
get this off. Y'all have got to make it into the end zone before y'all start celebrating. The only reason that touchdown counted, first of all, the stats on this are going to look crazy because the player that ran it in for 100 yards, it's not even for 100 yards for a touchdown. His homeboy just follows up behind him and happens to pick up the ball in the end zone. That was the touchdown, not the person who ran it in. So he did all that work and he still doesn't have a touchdown under his belt. And I'm just like, I know he's beating him. I know he's beating himself up about it, but we got to do better than that, especially on close games. You will lose a game like that.
Facts.
And then we had Bowling Green playing number 8 Penn State in a last-minute score where Penn State won 34-27. Again, these top-ranked teams, everybody that played yesterday, it's Sunday for us, but everybody that played on Friday and Saturday, these games were way too close for these teams to be ranked so high against these unranked teams. Again, Arkansas versus Oklahoma State, very close game. Arkansas, I wish I would have pulled it out. Y'all know I hate Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State ended up winning in the fourth quarter, 39-31. If you know Oklahoma State, you know that they are a second half team. You have to keep them down. When they go to that locker room, I don't know what the hell is going on in that locker room, but they always come back. No matter what the deficit is, they always come back, and it's just like, what the hell is happening in the locker room?
What happened?
They're definitely a strong second half team, so you have to be wary of that. And then you have Iowa State, unranked, playing Iowa, number 20 Iowa, and defeating them. And I guess technically is an upset, 20-19. And then lastly, in the close games, you have our number 15 ranked Oklahoma Sooners against Houston, unranked Houston, winning 39-31 again.
Close game.
Too close to be playing unranked teams. Now, the question I want to ask you and viewers, with those scores that you guys heard, do you think that it's fair that a team that defeats another team directly, so let's say, for example, Northern Illinois and Notre Dame,
Okay.
because Northern Illinois beat Notre Dame in a direct face-off, they played each other. Do you think that it's fair that Notre Dame is still ranked higher than Northern Illinois on the AP poll, on the rankings? If they beat them, people ask, why are they not ranked above them? Can you explain that?
That's a really good question. The only reason it would make sense for a higher ranked team to lose to a lower ranked team and still be ranked higher is in the situation of like rock, paper, scissors. Like how rock can beat scissors, but
I'm not going to cap. I'm not following.
But scissors can beat paper. You know what I mean?
No, I don't. I don't get it.
Like basically, if like, okay, how NIU beat Notre Dame,
right,
and how Notre Dame beat, who did Notre Dame beat last week?
I don't know. Let's say I forgot who they played last week, but they beat them.
They beat whoever they played. If NIU lost to them,
okay. But in this situation, they didn't. And I think for this week's rankings, the AP poll came out this morning, and Northern Illinois is ranked 25, while Notre Dame is ranked number 18. So they did fall from their original ranking of 5 to 18, but still, why wouldn't Northern Illinois be ranked above them? I get what you're saying, but they haven't played them.
Ask the question again for the viewers.
Why would is it fair that a team that directly beat another team is still not ranked above said team?
So like how NIU.
Yeah. So Northern Illinois beat Notre Dame.
Okay.
But they're still ranked below Notre Dame, and they beat them.
Okay, so we need our viewers to answer that. That's a great question, though.
If anybody can explain that, because ultimately, I mean, when you put it that way, it's like we beat them. Why are we not ranked above them?
Yeah, I just beat you.
Yeah. So that's just something. Respond in the comments if somebody can explain how that works, because I don't like speaking on things that I'm not 100% sure on. So I'm going to leave that one alone.
And that could just be combo. It could just be combo.
Yeah. Quickly going over rankings for this upcoming week, we have in order: Georgia, Texas, Ohio, Alabama, Ole Miss, Mizzou, Tennessee, Penn State, Oregon, Miami, USC, Utah, Oklahoma State, Kansas State, Oklahoma, LSU, Michigan, Notre Dame. Ooh, what did I write down? Louisville, Arizona, Iowa State, Clemson, Nebraska, Boston College, and then with 25, we have Northern Illinois. The games of college football are getting tricky. And I think that we're used to seeing these conferences where everyone's like dominating, blowing everybody out. And that was like week 1.
Yeah.
This week, it seems like everybody struggled. It seems like everybody struggled, and they struggled against teams that they, stereotypically we're not supposed to struggle against.
Things have changed.
Things have changed. That portal has created new opportunities, and it's kind of leveled the playing field.
For sure. That's why it's great that to me at least, it's great that the college football playoff bracket is larger.
Oh, I'm excited. I'm so excited about the bracket.
That's why it's good.
We should probably post that reel explaining that to people, because it is confusing. But what's next?
WNBA, Angel Reese. She is out for the remainder of the season for a wrist injury. So she is out. She was a candidate for winning Rookie of the Year. It was all conversation between her and Caitlin Clark. But now Angel Reese, she just most recently posted something on her social media stating that she is out for the year. And I feel like people be hating on Angel Reese. Like, people hate on this woman. Like I don't know what it is. Actually, I know what it is, but
We all
Jesus
know what it
Christ.
is. We all know what it is.
Like, why do people hate on Angel Reese? At the end of the day, she averaged 13.6 points per game,
Okay.
13.1 rebounds per game, and
Okay.
she averaged almost a healthy average of 2 assists per game. I mean, that's a rookie year. That's her rookie
Yeah.
season. Um,
So do you think that because how many games are remaining in the WNBA? It's not that many left, right? They're nearing the end of the season.
we are nearing the end of the season. I don't know how many games left there are.
Okay, so do you think that people are going to not people? You think that they're gonna take the easy way out, and that is going to affect Angel Reese's chances of winning Rookie of the Year? Her missing these last couple games.
What do you mean by take the easy way out?
You know, we had the conversation about uh, Angel Reese versus Caitlyn. Do you think that now the committee or the people that decide who wins Rookie of the Year, it automatically like goes to they can justifiably say like, okay, it goes to Caitlyn because she played the full season and Angel Reese missed the last 4 or 5 games this season.
Yeah. So I actually changed my answer. Initially, I had said that I think Angel Reese will win Rookie of the Year, but I naturally think that Caitlyn will win Rookie of the Year. So I
Why?
think this
Why?
even
Why?
validates it more. This is the Indiana Fever have not even made it to the playoffs in about what 8 years, I
Okay.
believe, and this is their first time. I mean, she's broken records. She's killing it. She's being pivotal to for her team. I think after the break, the WNBA they have a break in between. There was like an Olympic break, and I feel like she has came back with a different type of energy. So I don't think I think I don't think people are going to say like, oh well, this is the reason why Caitlin Clark should be Rookie of the Year. I think that she earned it, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, it's just when we compare those two people specifically, there are always racial comparisons and deep thought analysis that and racism and this and it's just when comparing those two, it gets very diabolical in the comments, and I'm actually tired of the race baiting. Um, but yeah,
It's even weird because when Angel Reese like ESPN reposted her post of saying that she's out for the season, and when you look at the comments, there were people commenting saying like, "That's karma." Like, just what are you talking? What
what did
what
she
are you
do?
talking about? What are
Well,
you talking?
well, we all know that sports is directly reflective of the society, and so in the U.S. we got some racial issues, and so that is reflected in almost everything that we do. I just hate bringing it up. It's like, oh my gosh, we talk about race so much. Can we please like just enjoy a game of basketball?
Even the Cody Ford situation, people were like bringing up race, and I'm like, no one even.
It was some race comments in there too. I saw some. I think somebody was like, they're jealous of Tiana because she's a white girl, and I'm just like, I didn't respond back to him. Like, I'm not entertaining
I
that
don't
in
even
the
want to
comments.
entertain that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's actually crazy. But that's some of the biggest news with the WNBA. Angel Reese get better soon. Nice, hopefully a great recovery. Um, Cameron Brink is out as well. She had tore her ACL a couple of weeks, maybe like even a month ago. It's been some time. But on to the NFL.
Yeah.
Did you hear about Tyreek Hill and his
Yes.
arrest right outside the stadium right before the game
Yeah.
for
That might be
traffic?
his villain arc story.
Well, we don't know what happened.
I don't know what happened because whenever it happened, it was right before we filmed, and we're like, wait, we have to talk about that. But
Yeah,
his ass was balling in the game today, so
and he made a
balling.
and he celebrated by putting his hands behind his back like they're in handcuffs. I'm like,
Yeah, the celebration was actually OD. I was like, you know what? If you can't beat them, join them. Laugh at it. Like
you know,
the quickest way to get over something is to laugh at that shit. Like
black people.
no, for real. To literally be arrested on your way to your football game and then
It's
reenact it
crazy.
as you score a touchdown is actually crazy. Kind of hard though.
That is why we just laugh at things, because this is all a freaking joke.
Yeah.
Um,
And he did
what the
not need
heck?
to go to jail. He has way too many kids to be in jail.
Stop.
He does.
Our guy, are you a Cowboys fan?
Yes, I am a Cowboys fan. I grew up in Arlington. So I don't really care for the NFL like that, but I keep up with the Cowboys and, they're my guys. Go boys. I think you're a weirdo if you don't root for your home team. Unless you
Okay,
root for the
so
Cowboys.
that is actually my sports pet peeve. Like, when I meet somebody and we talk about like who's your team, and they're from Dallas, Texas, and they're like, yeah, my team is the Timberwolves. Why? Why is your team the
Why?
Timberwolves? Why are you
Especially
choosing
because
them?
like the Dallas seems like we do be winning,
So it's like, why don't you want to choose that? You
except for
know,
the
I get
Cowboys.
I guess I get the Lakers, the Celtics, the Bulls. You know, I get maybe like nostalgic teams.
But
Actually, no
but the
exception.
Cowboys are the nostalgic team of the football.
And
Cowboys and the Patriots.
the issue with the Cowboys is just that we're the nostalgic team, but the issue now is like, for what though? Because we have not won since 1996.
It doesn't matter. It's America's team. It doesn't matter. We're
Yeah.
America's team. We're the most profitable NFL team. And that's just what it is. I mean,
Statistically, we're actually the most profitable sports organization in the world. You
even
guys can
even out of
fact
soccer, even out of soccer,
you guys can fact check me. Yes.
I'm gonna
You can
check
put
that.
it. Huh?
I'm gonna check that because I think that we're like number 3 in the world, but I think the two topping us are soccer teams. I think it's
Go check
Manchester.
Forbes. Go check Forbes.
I don't feel like it. I'll
Wait,
check after.
before you check, let's bet.
No, no, let's not.
Let's
Let's not.
bet. See.
So we got the NFL. So your team is the Cowboys, right?
Yeah, my team is the Cowboys. Congratulations to Dak, who is now the highest paid NFL player in history with a $240 million contract for 4 years. So that means he's getting paid like $60 million a year. So, question to viewers: does Dak deserve that $240 million contract? Does he deserve that?
I've got no dog in the fight. I really don't know. I told you I don't like speaking on matters that I'm not
Yeah.
informed on. I don't know. Like I did see one guy on his podcast and he was arguing, he was like the only non Super Bowl quarterback that has to constantly defend himself is Dak Prescott. And they started naming off all these NFL quarterbacks. I'm not well versed on the NFL enough to comment on that, but I was just intaking I went through the comments and people were agreeing with him. So who
So
knows?
that's your take,
No, it's
or are
not
you
my
saying?
take. I'm woman enough to say I do not have enough knowledge on the subject to create an answer.
You know what's crazy? Social media is just so crazy that no, nobody. I ain't say that. I ain't
I'm
say
not scared. I'm not scared of being canceled. We got canceled on Thursday. But so I'm not scared of being canceled. We're already canceled. But I just literally I'm like, I don't know. I don't pay attention to NFL. Like I'm just like, oh, did the Cowboys win or did they lose? And
No,
that's
I pay
about as far
attention.
as I take it.
I pay attention. I pay attention. I pay attention. But that is some of the biggest news right now for the Cow. I mean, I said for the Cowboys. Wow. For the NFL, the Cowboys
Oh,
did smack the Browns. I'm happy about that.
the game's over. Okay, it is.
Let's edit that
Um,
out. You can't be that delusional. You can't be that non.
No,
You got.
I said is the game over? Like the game's finished. We're filming on a Sunday
Oh.
as the games are going on.
Okay.
Now let's
The,
take that out. You can't be that out of touch. Like no, the games are literally ongoing. But I think that that is not the biggest news in NFL. The biggest news is that Jalen Hurts' girlfriend was at the game and she touched his face, and there seemed to be a ring on a specific finger, a big ring. My heart is in shambles. Um, it sucks to see someone live your dream. Well,
girl. I think after 21, you're too old to have a celebrity crush.
Are you kidding me? Stop.
Let me
Stop.
23.
Stop.
23, you're too old to have a celebrity crush.
So people are too old to have a celebrity that they think is handsome or cute?
No, you can have a celebrity that you think is handsome or cute, but
That's
like,
a crush. I don't know that
uh,
man personally.
the comment is like, you too grown. You're like, not too young.
Girls are 40 years old, 50 years old, paying $1,000 to Chris Brown to take
And
a picture.
that's so childish. That's so childish to me. Like,
You're not gonna
girl,
tell me
come
me
on.
thinking somebody is handsome is childish. Shut up.
Yeah, it's not that bad. I mean, it's not that bad, but
You're not a girl's girl.
you're not a great girl. It's like,
Let me
oh
stop
my
where they say
God.
let me stop where they say I'm being mean to you again.
No, let's really stop because I'm not copying anybody. I don't even know what to say. I can't say nothing.
I'm crying. No, for real. Before we wrap things up, some games to look out for on what I do know with college football. We only have 2 ranked matchups where both teams are ranked at this point because of all the flutter from last week. So we have number 24 Boston College playing number 6 Mizzou.
Right.
Mizzou is slated to be the winner, but we'll see how that goes because nobody's playing like how we all expected them to. And then we have number 20 Arizona playing number 14 Kansas State. How Kansas State is ranked above Oklahoma, I have no fucking clue, but apparently they are. Don't know when that jump happened this week. I don't know why. But 2 more games you want to look out for is number 4 Alabama playing Wisconsin. Wisconsin's unranked, but the way that Alabama played last week, they have a damn good chance of winning. And then we have number 16 LSU, unreliable ass team, playing the South Carolina Gamecocks. So you never know. With LSU, you literally never know. They haven't been good since they did this at the White House. That was the last time they were good.
Stop showing gun signs. Like,
Well, they did it in the White House
I
with the
just
song
don't want
with the
to
song
know.
in the background. Get the gat, get the gat.
Yeah.
But we just talked about that last. We talked about it last week about like black men stop doing the gun signs. It's not working out in our favor at all. It's not
Stop.
like it's just a hand sign, but it's not.
Just
It's not looking
stop.
good for us.
Figure out another way to celebrate.
There are plenty. There are millions of other ways to celebrate. Do a TikTok dance, which they've actually been going crazy with the TikTok dances in the end zone. But what else do we have? Do we have anything else to talk about for this week?
We don't have anything else to talk about. Welcome more people to the Playbook Diaries tribe. We definitely love engagement. Engage. DM us. Tell us what you want to hear about. Questions that you have. Comments, concerns. What types of topics do you want to hear on your way to work, or wherever you're going when you're
Yeah,
working at home, wherever you are? What conversations do you want to wrestle with in regard to sports? What
yeah.
type of figures do you want to listen to? What do you care about?
But leave
Um,
those in the comments. Like, if you want us to talk about a topic or you see something come up during the week, like, let us know. We can't see all the sports news. We still have jobs. For the new followers, we still have full-time jobs. So when we see stuff, it's very limited to outside of 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. So we have a lot of opportunity to miss stuff. If you want us to talk about something on a podcast, like
Let me know.
DM it to us. There's a couple people that literally don't say anything to us. They just send us a post and say nothing. And I'm like, oh, okay. And that works. Also, for our ladies that are tuning in, I have gotten requests, 2 requests in person. And then some people have sent it to the Playboy Diaries Instagram that y'all want us to do an episode teaching y'all about how to understand football. We will do that in the next 2 weeks. We'll figure that out. That might be long, but we'll do an episode on that because it's been requested a couple times. We can do that and make it easy and put it in girl terms for you guys, like you said. And we can do that in the next 2 weeks, have it edited. It's just really the editing that takes forever. So
Where would you start at teaching someone about football, though? Like, what do you start with positions?
Would I start? No, I would probably start with like football terminology, like and the point system. So this is a field goal. It's worth this much. This is a 2-point conversion. It's worth 2 points. Then you have the kickoff. This is called the kickoff, but we don't need to go too much into terminology, just basic terminology. And then telling them like we don't need to go over like positions. I think that we can get more advanced the further we go on. We can't tell them everything in one episode, but maybe do like a 15-minute excerpt on it and then maybe do another one in another episode. We'll turn them into reels for everybody.
Have you ever told a guy that you have a sports podcast and then they turned around and asked you to a specific stat?
Yeah.
Do you answer?
If I been able to not answer? Normally it's something like so just like demeaning. It's like, why the fuck wouldn't I know that?
I had told a guy that I had a sports podcast, and he had asked me what Luca's field goal percentage was.
Oh, this nigga, do you know that off the top of your head?
And it's also kind of like, do you think that this is like, do you think that this is welcoming, like a welcoming next step? Like, oh, so what's Luca's field goal? Like, okay,
Well,
I
that's
didn't.
like that's the equivalent to someone being like, "Oh, Nicole, you're a lawyer. Okay, so what law is blah 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 blah? Give or they'll be like, get my cousin out of jail. Did you ask what type of lawyer I am? I'm
What's the
not
cause?
criminal.
It's just okay. I just said, why are you asking that? And I moved on. But I don't have anything else for you.
This is
Thanks for
short
tuning
episode.
in. Thanks for tuning in. Welcome to the Playbook Diaries podcast. It's your girl, Nicole.
And I'm Jordan.
And we will see you later.